There is a quiet, aching moment that every parent of a teenager knows all too well. It's when you watch your child slowly retreat into a world of self-doubt, hyper-independence, or total isolation, while you stand on the outside, frantically searching for the right words to bring them back. You offer standard compliments, you ask how their day went, and you do your absolute best to stay positive. Yet every phrase seems to bounce right off an invisible shield they've spent months building. Have you ever tracked the actual words spoken in your house over a 48-hour window? If you tallied them up, a sobering pattern emerges. The vast majority of our daily communication with adolescents is purely functional. It's reminders, schedules, corrections, and logistics. While an adolescent brain is navigating a constant storm of social evaluations and physical restructuring, operating on a diet of purely functional speech causes a silent glitch. Without explicit, daily emotional grounding, the developing brain defaults to a dangerous assumption. It assumes that love, acceptance, and security are conditional items that must be constantly earned through performance. Before we walk through the 4 essential phrases that change this dynamic, take 2 seconds right now to hit that subscribe button. Every single week, we translate the complex neurobiology of the adolescent mind into practical, actionable blueprints that you can test in your living room tonight. Joining this growing community ensures you will never miss a single framework designed to protect your family bond and keep your home a safe harbor. Now let's look at the quiet, emotional deficit happening in modern homes every single day. Think back to the last few interactions you had with your teen over the past 2 days. Maybe they came downstairs to grab a drink, or slid into the kitchen after finishing their homework. You wanted to connect, to acknowledge their presence, so you spoke up. But what actually came out of your mouth? Did you finish that history assignment? Don't forget to take the trash out. Why is your laundry still sitting on the stairs? How did that quiz go? You weren't trying to be cold, demanding, or micromanaging. You were simply running a household, trying to keep them on track, and checking off the endless master list of adult responsibilities. Yet notice what happens on their end of the room. Your teenager gives a faint nod, mutters a brief one-word answer, snags their food, and immediately retreats back behind a closed bedroom door. Sitting on the couch watching that door latch shut, a heavy realization lands. Almost every sentence exchanged between you two lately has been tied to an output, a task, or a correction. When our daily dialogue shrinks down to a checklist of logistics, it's easy to rationalize it. We look at our older, more capable kids who act like they don't care about our opinion anyway, and we assume they no longer need the explicit, outward validation we gave them when they were little. It's easy to tell ourselves, they know I love them, or they know I'm proud of their effort. I don't need to keep repeating it every day. Allowing communication to stay purely operational creates a subtle, unintended dynamic. What feels like efficient parenting to us registers as conditional approval to them. When validation only appears alongside major milestones, like a clean report card, a big win, or a completed chore list, their nervous system draws its own conclusion. I am only valued in this house when I am producing results. During adolescence, social threat detection is running at absolute peak sensitivity. When task-focused feedback makes up the bulk of what they hear, teenagers stop bringing their failures, their confusion, or their unpolished feelings to us. They pull into themselves because they assume that being messy or failing will cost them our approval. Breaking out of this operational cycle requires us to intentionally insert 4 specific, unconditioned statements into our regular vocabulary. These are the explicit anchors an adolescent mind rarely hears without an invisible asterisk. 1. I love who you are, not just what you do. Unconditional worth. Most parental praise is accidentally tied to performance. Great game, awesome grades, or thanks for clearing the table. This quietly trains the brain to link affection to output. Teenagers need clear statements that are totally detached from their achievements, mood, or behavior. Saying a variation of, I just love the way your mind works, or I'm so glad I get to be your parent, on a totally normal Tuesday when nothing impressive happened, proves their value is permanent, not earned. 2. You can give me the messy truth. My stability can handle it. Absolute safety. When a teen makes a mistake or feels overwhelmed, their default reflex is to cover it up to avoid triggering parental panic or disappointment. They need explicit reminders that your emotional floor won't collapse under their reality. Telling them directly that your relationship is sturdy enough to handle their unedited truth dismantles the shame response that drives secrecy. 3. I trust your ability to figure this out, and I'm right here if you want a sounding board. Empowered autonomy. Our natural parental reflex is to jump in with advice or step-by-step solutions the moment they face friction. But unprompted fixing sends a quiet micro-message. You can't handle your life, so I have to do it for you. Expressing total confidence in their capacity while maintaining a low-pressure offer to help sends a clear signal to their developing brain that you see them as capable and resilient. 4. I handled that wrong, and I'm sorry. Radical accountability. We often demand respect and clean apologies from our teenagers, yet rarely offer unprompted apologies when we lose our patience, jump to conclusions, or react out of stress. Modeling clean accountability without tacking on excuses, I was just stressed, breaks down rigid power dynamics. It shows them that mistakes don't destroy relationships. Avoidance does. To weave these 4 truths into your routine without making them sound staged or awkward, you can tie them directly to low-stakes moments that already happen every day. Micro Moment 1. The zero agenda connection. When they step into the kitchen in the morning or get into the car after school, bypass the logistical check-in entirely. Lead with unconditional worth. Hey, I was just thinking about you earlier. I really love the person you're becoming, and I'm just glad I get to be your parent today. Micro Moment 2. The fast reset. When a conversation gets tense or you catch yourself using a sharp tone, don't sweep it under the rug or wait until bedtime to smooth it over. Deploy radical accountability within minutes. Hey, let me pause for a second. I let my own stress bleed into how I just spoke to you, and that wasn't fair. I'm sorry about that. Let's start over. Micro Moment 3. The friction pivot. When your teen vents about a difficult teacher, friend drama, or an exhausting project, pause the instinct to fix it. Combine safety and autonomy in one response. That sounds like a heavy situation to deal with. I know you've got good instincts to work your way through it, but you don't have to carry the stress alone. If you want to brainstorm solutions or just complain about it for 10 minutes, I'm right here. Zero judgment. Why does dropping performance-based demands and inserting these grounding statements shift their day-to-day behavior so quickly? It comes down to basic cognitive capacity and emotional bandwidth. When a teenager's environment feels dominated by evaluation, their system spends significant background energy on self-defense and monitoring their social standing. Asking them to handle high academic or social stress while carrying the fear of falling short at home is like asking a phone with 1% battery to run a high-demand application. The system doesn't lag because they want to resist you. It lags because their internal resources are completely drained. When you offer warm, explicit validation that requires zero performance in return, you effectively lower the background processing load on their nervous system. By removing the fear of being constantly judged or corrected, you stop draining their remaining energy reserves. Once that baseline feeling of security is restored, and they no longer have to defend their worth at home, their capacity to handle outside challenges, communicate clearly, and engage with you naturally recovers. It takes real strength to step out of the manager role and step into the role of a steady, grounding presence. Your teenager won't remember every logistical reminder, every lecture about organization, or every grade on a progress report. What sticks with them long-term is the emotional climate of the home they grew up in, and whether your voice felt like a source of evaluation or a place to rest. Your job isn't to be a perfect parent who never gets frustrated or never asks about homework. Your job is to be the one adult in their world brave enough to offer explicit, unconditional validation without requiring them to earn it first. When you show them that your love doesn't fluctuate based on their output, home stops feeling like another place to perform and starts becoming the place where they get their strength back. In our next video, we are taking this one step further. What happens when you anchor their worth, speak these daily truths, and build a powerful foundation of safety, only to realize that their mood swings, sudden outbursts, and emotional crashes still feel completely overwhelming to manage? What do you do when your teenager goes from calm and happy to furious or tearful in a matter of seconds, leaving you feeling like you are constantly walking on emotional eggshells in your own home? We are going to break down the adolescent emotional roller coaster, why teens have sudden mood swings, and how to handle them without losing your mind. We are going to expose the real brain science behind teenage emotional volatility, the subtle triggers that cause sudden mood crashes, and the precise, step-by-step de-escalation framework you need to stay completely calm, steady, and in control through every single storm. I'll see you there.